Hello, I'm Joshua of Milestone Play, and I am a professional game master. I'm currently on a quest to visit as many of my online players in person as possible, and today marks the beginning of our southern U.S. tour. We're going to be heading off to Missouri, Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. So we've got a lot of ground to travel. I figured I'd start us off in our native terrain, seen in a lot of our sending kenkus, just to see how much it changes. But yeah, we have about over 300 miles to get going today to get us set up for the beginning of our player meetups tomorrow and through the remainder of the week. So yeah, let's get going. So I got distracted by a sign on the side of the highway, just listed all of these world's biggest. So unplanned, end up in Casey, Illinois, and we're gonna go see some big stuff. This little library has a storybook walk. All of those podiums have a children's book all pieced together across all of them to have a story outside. Some of the last ones don't have any panels. I assume that they are changing out what stories are in them. So yeah, I'll post the story to an unlisted video. But yeah, so that's really nice. And then we have this big bookworm and a trunk. I love trunks. Trunks are fantastic. Open me and read with Scarecrow Pete. Oh, that is lovely. That is lovely. I do have bad news though. Scarecrow Pete is, well, he's dead. I should have expected this trip would have multiple candy stores. I also saw a tea shop outside. Stopping in Casey was a very good idea. First cup of bought chai latte on the road. There's gonna be a lot of them. I have a very bad sugar milk flavored like spiced tea addiction. This was a really nice stop. This was really quaint. And you got the candy store right next door. This is a really nice place. I enjoy this place, but I have to be continuing on to Missouri.
You have arrived.
During my drive, I was listening to a couple YouTube videos on bulk world history. Like great swaths of hitting everything all across the world. And during that, they had mentioned Cahokia. Cahokia being a Mississippian indigenous North American civilization. And maybe 2 videos later, as I'm driving, I just see the nice brown sign for Cahokia Mounds State Park, and it seemed like it'd be a waste. I continue to delay getting to the Mark Twain National Forest where I was hoping to get this evening, which, you know, that's a couple hours, but it's fine. But yeah, I like having just listened to world history on it, it's like, I can't just pass that up. I can't just pass that up. So we're gonna head up to the biggest mound, Monk's Mound. It is just after 4 p.m. The sun goes down right about 6 according to the weather service. I'm in Fredericktown, Missouri, and I need to get dinner before heading into the state park. So, found myself a little Chinese place. Major goal is to go to a bunch of either local restaurants or, you know, small family-owned stuff. So, without having much more time to research, this seems to fit the bill. So we'll eat and then head down to the Mark Twain National Forest. Dinner has been eaten, and now we go off to finally get to the Mark Twain National Forest. See you there. So I made it here before dark. Gonna do a little bit of hiking. I didn't really check this beforehand, but it's very good that this is just a public camping spot. You don't need any reservations or anything like that. Unfortunately, I can't get very far from the road, as the main road going into the campgrounds and hiking areas is barriered off just for park rangers and stuff. Just has a small public parking area out front, and since I am car camping, I'll be relatively close to the road, but that's okay. I would rather be doing things legitly than possibly getting in trouble with officials, because I'm just that type of person. But yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of hiking, and then we'll just be crashing for the night. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, so it is just after 6 a.m. Went to bed around 7:30-ish. Car is not that comfortable. I didn't expect it to be, but over the 10 hours-ish in there, probably got 8 hours of sleep. So that's fine. That's the nature of what's going on here. Yeah, so just up early in the morning, kind of following the sun since I'm in the middle of nowhere and I don't have internet and I don't want to be wasting any of my battery stores on light or anything like that in case of emergencies. So yeah, we're just going to do a little bit of a morning hike and then I'll be getting off to Arkansas. Definitely early, but then probably find some form of cafe or library or something to get a little bit of work done before meeting up with a couple players today. So yeah, let's get going. So it's 9 o'clock, made it into Jonesboro. Don't know when I'm gonna fully meet up with the players, but I found this Verb bookstore, story, coffee shop combo. Looks like a nice little place, so I'm probably gonna be crashing here for a bit until I get the day sorted out. Story time. I left the cafe to come out to one of the disc golf places. There was 3 of them around Jonesboro, and so I found one that had an RV campground. Thinking, oh, okay, I'll go out. I'll find some place to maybe crash for the night. And then I waited, and there's some delays with the one of the players I was going to meet. Turns out that they're in Memphis with a flat tire, and it is taking much longer than they thought for getting back here. So instead, I'm gonna head out to Memphis, and I might need to help them with the tire. They might have that figured out by the time I get there. Some lock key problems. But yeah, I may not even be hanging out in Jonesboro. I might just be hanging out in Memphis. So, back on the road.
Welcome to Tennessee.
So made it to Memphis and met up with Conman, and we are now at the Botanical Gardens. Don't really know what the rest of the day is going to be, but based off of the morning that we've both had, it's going to be chill. We're not going to do too much. But yeah, we got a little bit of a player interview to do later, and then anything else that happens today, we'll probably get a check-in. But for now, Botanical Gardens. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out of order in the edit. We actually found the koi pond and rock garden and all this later on in the day, but it took us a while to find it. We were struggling, and when we actually asked a worker how to get to the Japan area, they let us know that we had to pay extra to get there because turns out there was a Japan Fest going on. Now, this wasn't the Japan area, this was just a festival going on at the Botanical Gardens. So yeah, let's go to the Botanical Garden and there'll be a good spot to do an interview. No, concert. So after seeing the guy with the kendama earlier, we did find a booth that had a couple of them. walk up to it, and the younger guy behind the booth just kind of gives the like, hey, would you like to try to play? So I say sure. And then he gives me the most basic version of try to get the ball on the cup. This dude next to me, who looks East Asian, I don't know if he's Japanese or not, but he has a look, and he tells the dude, you didn't even give him the entire challenge for me to then pick it up, first cup, second cup, third cup. I baffed it. I did not get the spike. I have not practiced in a long time, but it's very much a, yeah, you just trolled him, didn't you? Yeah, I know. I knew you knew how to do it based on how I picked it up. Yeah. So that happened. I found it. I found where Conman goes when he's late for D&D. Finished Indian food, went and actually picked up Conman's dog from someone who was watching him for the day, and then dropped him back off, and I think I'm gonna go drive for another couple hours. It's currently 7 p.m. local time, I think. My clock is off because I didn't realize that we had a time change. But yeah, so I'm gonna go drive for a couple hours, try and get closer to my destination for tomorrow, and then probably just find some rest stop. But yeah, today was crazy, absolutely crazy, but you know, called an audible, as they say in football. I don't make football references, but he did, and I've heard that in my house, so called an audible, changed everything up. But yeah, let's get another couple hours on the road, maybe see how we're feeling, and then just find a rest stop over to the side to crash for a while. Yeah, this trip is nothing like I thought it'd be. Absolutely nothing like I thought it'd be. Let's drive. And then instead of driving for an hour or two, I drove for 5. So I'm about 45 minutes to an hour away from my destination tomorrow. And this brings, I think, my today's drive time up to almost, if not over, 11 hours. We had about 2.5, maybe a bit more, a bit less, from the Mark Twain National Forest down to Arkansas, and then Arkansas out to Memphis, and Memphis back to Arkansas, not counting all the trips inside those places. And then through Mississippi, through most of Alabama. There is no footage for Mississippi or Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama driving because safety and all that. But yeah, so I'm gonna crash for a bit, and any footage I didn't get today for the driving, we will be getting extra tomorrow because I'll have more time inside specific locales, which I don't fully know yet. I'll see you in the morning. I promise we will get a different shot than me sitting in the car soon. It's now about 9:30. I got a good 8 hours sleep. Better sleep than previous night. Rearranged this sleeping situation to accommodate my body shape better. But yeah, we're gonna go explore a little bit around this section of Alabama. And really, I have the entire day until I'm meeting a player for dinner. So yeah, we're just gonna explore and have a little bit of fun. Drove about half an hour, got gas, found myself to a downtown area in Gadsden, Alabama, looking for small cafe, deli, variety stores just to spend some time. No sooner do I park than I get a message that the player is going to be free for most of the day as opposed to just the evening that we had discussed. So I'm going to meet him about 4 or 5 hours earlier than we initially intended. So that's great. That's awesome. Just have a little bit of time to spend downtown, and then I do have to get back on the road, as is this entire trip. Let's explore. I did mention that I liked suitcases, right? So unfortunately, I would really like to go into the Taming of the Yarn and Tea Shop. They're closed on Mondays. And had a nice little pantomime conversation with a dude in the window painting up a display. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Why are all the good stores closed or abandoned? So I found a children's museum that is not yet built. Like, they are actively constructing this place. I don't think I'm supposed to be in here right now. Hello. I have no... So it turns out they're rebuilding the place, but there's an art museum I can go in for free. The children's museum you have to pay for, but yeah. So yeah, let's hang out. Supposedly, this air conditioning unit is on some road trip books, which I don't know that much about. So yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and see what the art is. I have been informed that this is a 72-foot model train, which I am very on the fence of. I love miniatures. I love everything you can do. When I run games, I don't like expensive miniatures because I want to be able to wreck the stuff. If you knock over an obelisk, you can knock it over. If you break the bridge, I want to break the bridge in half. So that's not a whole lot of motivation for me to get really good at wanting to do a bunch of model stuff, because it'll be too precious and too expensive to just break, which is why I typically just use acrylic paint and cardboard and used styrofoam from packaging. But this is still absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I know you're not supposed to, but I want to touch it. Mixed media on polycarbon panel. I want to touch it. Piano locks are both one of the most smart things they could have ever done, as well as one of the most disappointing. Gotta love art galleries putting up kids' art. Absolutely. Ooh, I start talking and then I don't notice the super steampunk dude. And we have a Pokemon! Yeah, I just, as a kid growing up, having my elementary school art put up in libraries and going to orchestra events for schools and having it put up on big screens and all that, just even if it's not what you would see as like the little kids going to be a big artist, like just seeing the art displayed in public. I missed earlier that I had the power to start the train. So I also found the Gads Museum of Art. It is closed because it's Monday. I completely missed that. I walked up to the door, opened it, and then one of the owners or curators just drives up, asks me if he can help me. And then he just turned the place on for me. These people are absolutely fantastic. Museum people are absolutely fantastic. So we have another art museum downstairs and then local history upstairs. This is just lovely. I mean, look at it. This place is just lovely. I should also note that I entered through what is essentially the back door. It is labeled, it does have hours, but I was also walking in the back door of Lights Off when it clearly said that they were closed on Monday, and I just can't keep that, I can't keep the day straight. So yeah, I have some problems. So after accidentally going into that gallery on a Monday, I walked back down by the Taming of the U shop, and the guy that was in the window painting the backboard for the Christmas decorations came out, and we just had a nice little chat. I guess he wanted to stop at that moment to come out to talk to me because there was just something about me that's like, this guy's probably not from around here, and he was right. And so we just had a nice conversation about that. Yeah. I have to get off to actually meet the player now, but we will see how well that goes. Right now, running across the street. Yeah, I've had people let me in places I'm not supposed to be in right now. That did not happen at the Taming of the U, not that I want that to be like a thing. They're closed for a reason, like, it's important to have closed hours. As someone who does my job, it's very important to figure out when you need to just close and not respond to stuff. So I don't know if I will ever get a chance to go in there, ever, but we just had a nice little moment. So we went and got sushi, and I got invited on top of a mountain. So we're at Cheaha State Park, and supposedly I'm going to be able to see all the way to Georgia. We'll find out.
And you got all these little foothills and all that around it, but so that's actual ball drop, but
it was decided that I needed to see the Talladega Superspeedway, which is, I mean, I'm here. I'm here. Why would you not go see it? Although, that's very small based off of the angle that we have. But, cameras do that. Cahokia mounts, cameras do that. I am really enjoying this do something one day and then drive 5 hours at night thing. So we started up here. We are now here. And then by the end of the evening, after the next 2.5 hours, we will be somewhere down here. I don't really know. Somewhere down here. This changes things. Where I was going to spend a little bit of time at Lofty Pursuits tomorrow, I now get to spend possibly breakfast through lunch there, depending on how much space and room and all that. Like, I may just get bored or be bugging them, but yeah, this is gonna allow us to do quite a bit. So yeah, it changes the plan, but it facilitates more stuff. Let's go do more stuff.